Hey gang, welcome back to your second week of online schooling. So far you've been doing a great job completing all your assignments and turning them in. However, before we get started with this week's agenda, there's one thing I need every single person in here to do. I need everyone to go into the Google Classroom and watch the online classroom meeting etiquette video. That's going to give us some tips on how we can maximize our learning in the Google Classroom when we have our meetings. All right, so go and do that when you get an opportunity. Right now, we're going to jump into our agenda and see what you're responsible for this week. This week, I need you to go ahead and go online to complete the Planning a Garden online module. Once you're finished, you're going to click this link right here and you're going to enter your score. You can go ahead and complete the module as many times as you want. However, once you're done, you need to click that link to take the assessment. After you've completed the module, I need everyone to go here and complete this garden activity, which is what we're going to start with today. Then you'll have your brain pop video, which is over map skills. Last but not least, at some point this week, you're going to watch this making your own planter video, which is us making those planters that we did at the beginning of the year. Since spring is coming up, you're going to be able to remake those planters and be able to fast track some of the growing process. So please watch that video later this week. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump straight into designing your own garden. For this, you need to go to the Google Classroom and pull up the following document. So here are the directions. Now that you have completed the Plant Your Garden module, it's time to make your own garden using the information you have learned. You will select 4 different vegetables or plants to put in your garden. You can make your garden any size you want. However, just remember to have enough room for all your vegetables. Please only use the plants from this link. You will make a detailed map of your garden and take a picture of your drawing and upload it to the Google Classroom. The items we're going to need for today will be the following. A blank piece of paper. This can be notebook paper. Some crayons or colored pencils. And a ruler. So before we go any further, we're going to click on this link right here, and it's going to take us to this file folder. Inside of this folder, there are images of different plant seeds. Just like you learned in the module, once you click on an image, you're going to see the packaging, and there's all sorts of information. You're going to select 4 different plants of your choice to put into your garden. But they can only come from this folder, and there's lots of different items in here that you can select from. So we're going to go ahead and start today, and I'm going to walk you through how you would do this. What is the size of your garden? We need the length, the width, the perimeter, and the area. So we're going to start out by making the map here, and when we make our map, we want to try to make it as detailed as possible so when I go plant the seeds, I know exactly where they're going to go, and more importantly, I'm going to make sure things aren't growing over each other and fighting for resources. So the first thing we want to do is put our name. Please put that in the upper right-hand corner. Then we need to give this a scale. In our case, 1 centimeter will equal 2 feet. So for every centimeter on my ruler will actually mean 2 feet. My garden will be approximately 40 feet in length, so it'll be 20 centimeters. 20 centimeters, and that will be 40 feet. The width will be 20 feet, which means make this a complete square now. 10 on this side, and then 20 on top. And so now I have a length of 20 feet a width of 40 feet. My perimeter, in order for me to get the perimeter, I have to add up all the sides. So this is 40 feet. Since this is a rectangle, this side and this side will be the exact same length. This side and this side will be the exact same length. So let's go ahead and add up all the sides. 40 plus 40 equals 80. This side plus this side, 20 plus 20 equals 40. I add them up, and now I have a perimeter of 120. So my perimeter, 120. Now I have to find the area of this to see how much property I am using. In order to do that, area equals length times width. So we have 40 times 20, 800 square feet. Let's go ahead and put that into our document. Next, we have to choose our plants. Let's choose 4 plants. And if I look closely right here, it gives me all the information that I need to know. We're going to come back to our document, put the name of the item, our days to germinate, according to here, was 7 to 10, 7 through 10. The depth, according to this, was 1/4. The seed spacing needs to be 1/3 of an inch. Our rows have to be at least 12 inches to 18 inches apart in order to make sure the carrots grow properly. Days to harvest. How long will it take before I can harvest these carrots? According to this, 75 days. So that's 2.5 months. If I want to have these ready by fall, I'm going to have to look at the zone. And according to this, we should probably plant ours during the months of May through June, that yellow zone. If you recall back to our food web stew, I said that I like carrots because they give us a great source of vitamin A, which is really great for our eyes and our skin. So I'm going to put that as my reason for the carrots. They're great for our eyes. Let's go ahead and select 3 more of these of your choice. All right, so let's go back to our map now that we have all 4 plants decided. Let's go ahead and figure out where we need to plant these. Now, according to our organizer, we know that it takes 7 to 14 days for these green beans to start to germinate. They have to be 1 to 2 inches in the ground. They need a seed spacing of at least 3 inches. But the interesting thing is they have to have this right here, 3 feet for the row spacing, which means they can't be too close for each row. And it's only going to take 40 days for those to harvest. On the right side, we're going to make our key. And we're going to make a little icon for green beans. And our green beans are just going to kind of look like this. And that means green bean. So anytime I see this color green on my map, it's going to mean that there are green beans planted here. And I'm going to put some green beans here, here, and I'm going to make this whole first row green beans. And I'm going to keep my spacing even. I don't want to have too many green beans trying to compete for resources like water and soil. I'm also going to do it on this side. Since they have to be 3 feet from each other, this will make it perfect that I can have 2 rows of green beans that are far apart, but yet give me enough that I can have for the whole season. Next, I'm going to use orange for my carrots. And so when I look at our chart, I can see that these have to have a row space of 12 to 18 inches. And it's going to take 75 days for these to grow. So it's going to make perfect sense that we actually put the carrots behind the green beans, because the green beans are going to grow faster, which means I can pull them out easier. So the closer they are to the outside of the garden, the easier I can pull them out, and I don't have to trample all over the other items. So our carrots will go right here. And our carrots, we can plant a lot more because we only are using the row spacing of 12 to 18 inches. So we're going to plant a lot of carrots, and we want to make sure that we have enough distance between the green beans and carrots so that they're not fighting for resources. We're going to put some carrots on this side as well. Green beans and carrots. Next, we're going to plant these tomatoes. And these tomatoes, they have a row spacing of 3 feet, and it actually takes them longer to germinate. However, the days to harvest aren't quite as long as the carrots. So you might be thinking to yourself, shouldn't the tomatoes go right in between the green beans and carrots? And that would make sense because the carrots take longer to grow than the tomatoes. However, there's one thing we have to be very careful about when we're planting our garden, and that's the height of a plant. And since tomatoes are so tall, we don't want them overshadowing our actual carrots and our green beans. So they're going to go in the middle, because if they go on the outsides, everything in the inside will start to have shade, which means it can't grow as fast. So we're going to put our tomatoes near the middle. So we've got our green beans, carrots, tomatoes, all growing on both sides. And we have to keep those tomatoes near the middle. That way when they grow really tall, they won't be blocking the light for the carrots and the green beans. The last one I decided to grow were the sunflowers. Now the sunflowers, they take 10 through 14 days to germinate. They need to have a seed spacing of 3 inches, and they're gonna grow 8 to 12 feet. Putting the sunflowers right in the middle is going to be a great chance for us to have a lot of different organisms, such as bees, come to our garden and pollinate everything evenly. Because since they're in the center, they're going to be coming around from all directions. And those sunflowers are going to be a great source for nutrition, because as the seeds start to drop out, they'll go back into the earth right here in the middle. And so it will keep going and going. So the last one we're going to do will be the sunflowers. And for the sunflowers, we're going to get our yellow, and we're going to make little stars here. The yellow star will represent the sunflowers. And we don't want to put a whole lot of sunflowers in here, because since they get so big, they're going to require a lot more resources, and we don't want them stealing the resources. So we're going to put them, just a few, in here, right in the center. So my sunflowers are right in the middle. They won't block the sun for the other items. They will help attract other organisms to come here and pollinate the rest of these, and the seeds will continue to drop down throughout the year and help regrow these automatically, so I can stay out of the center of the garden. I don't have to keep replanting. Once you're done with your map, go ahead and take a picture of it and insert it into the Google Classroom for grading. And that's it, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or concerns about creating your own garden map. Just make sure that it gets put into the Google Classroom for grading, and more importantly, maybe, just maybe, you'll be able to use this map right here to help you with your own garden this summer.